What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to install the new carbon fiber Dinan exhaust on a B58 engine. So before we get started, you're going to have to remove this shroud, which is on the right side, and it's going to be locked like this, but you just want to turn it sideways and then it should just come right off. And you want to disconnect the battery as I did right here. You just have to loosen this one up. I think it's a 10 millimeter. And then I just put this just so that it doesn't come in contact with that. And I already did this off camera, but I already removed the mass airflow sensor, which goes right in here. And pretty much this little white plastic piece is gonna be all the way down here. And you literally just wanna pop it up. It should take a little bit of force, but just pop it up and then push it in, press down, and then it should come right off just like that. The next step you wanna do is grab a 6 millimeter and loosen this clamp on the intake. Next up, you want to remove the clips on the intake box, so unclamp this one. Lastly, there's one clamp which is hidden away right there. Next up, we want to, since we have everything unclamped and this loosened up, you can just take the intake box right out, and I'm going to try to not break anything here. And it's out. Lastly, we're going to have to remove this tube right here, and the clamp for that is actually located right under there. I'm trying to show you guys right there, and it's kind of hard to get to. You're gonna have to stick your hand in there and figure something out, but I'll get back to you guys when I'm done. Okay, so when I unscrewed this clamp, I actually used a 6 millimeter, but for some reason the 6 millimeter wasn't fitting on the clamp down there, so I actually switched over to a 7, and that seemed to do the trick. When you receive your Dinan carbon fiber intake, this is everything that's going to come included. We got some clamps, some sort of insulation, hardware, couplers, the actual filter, and then the carbon fiber pieces. And it does come with instructions with pictures and everything, so it's going to be really simple to install. A very important step, Dinan included, is when you get your box, they include new clamps which are a completely different size from the stock ones, and in the instructions it says that you have to remove the stock clamps and replace them with these. Okay, so now that I got the Dinan intake all assembled, I got the filter inside, which was a pain in the ass to put in. It's probably gonna take you guys some time, and pretty much you just want to assemble the intake so that it's somewhat in this position, because this way it will fit right in. Also, the clamps, make sure they're around the position that I put them in. That way they're easier to screw on once it's actually inside. Alright, so what's going on, guys? So it's actually the next day. I actually finished the install yesterday, but it got too dark and I didn't feel like recording at night. I decided just to wait. So I pretty much finished the entire install. I have the intake all clamped up, and I have all the clamps tightened up. And I know I said to manipulate the screws so that these are above and those are facing that location, but don't listen to me. It would have been much easier if those clamps had the screws on this side. That way it would have been much easier to screw on. So don't make that mistake. When you put the clamps on, put the screws so that they're right here. These are fine where they are. One thing that I found that I didn't really like is that when you clamp it on, the actual carbon fiber box, it doesn't have like anything to protect it from the clamps, and I find that these clamps actually like scratched it up a bit. I don't know if you can see, but that's just a small thing I found, and I just don't like how it's gonna be permanently scratched. But other than that, getting this coupler to stick on was kind of a pain, especially since there's barely any room. I had the sensor hooked up now. Just out of your bracket and then just clip it in, and then it should finish up. One thing I did find with this install is I actually test drove it, and the car actually sounds way meaner and it pops way more. And according to Dinan, this intake does add around 15 horsepower, and I think it says like 10 pound-feet of torque. But yeah, it looks amazing in the engine bay. And I'll get back to you guys when I have a new mod to install, so I'll see you guys next time.